You can believe that Antonio Brown is a reprehensible human being that has done a bunch of terrible things and made a lot of mistakes. And it is still possible for the Buccaneers to have mishandled his injury, pressured him to play, and did him dirty in this situation. Like, that's a statement that shouldn't be so controversial because those two things aren't necessarily mutually exclusive.
That's super controversial too. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's like, I don't think you have to defend any of AB's past behavior because AB has done a bunch of wild stuff, like fake vaccination card, like the cryotherapy on his feet, the like recording and leaking his conversations with John Gruden, like step after step after step. AB has done a ton of terrible things, but like, I don't understand why we think bad things can't happen to bad people.
People just is you know what it is, and people be so righteous in their thinking. They think like it's supposed to be this way, good or bad. It's never in the middle. Like, bro, even if a bad thing happens to a bad person, it's still bad. Like, and it shouldn't be happening to them, And hopefully they're not continuing to do bad things. But at the end of the day, like, someone gets robbed that is maybe they're a criminal, like they still would probably report the crime because like it's still an injustice that got done to them. Granted, they were probably out doing injustices, but it still doesn't lessen what happened to them. And I think that's what people just get caught up being too righteous. But I mean, I kind of get it, but you still gotta look. They're still human beings at the end of the day. These people are human. You gotta look at them like that.
Yeah, that was something that was really salient about Antonio Brown's two-page statement that came out last night, which is one of the reasons why I'm happy that we decided to record on Thursday to get a little bit more information on this story, where he was like, because I have made mistakes in my past, I should not be treated like a second-class citizen. Right? And I thought that was super salient because, like, no matter what, he's a human being. He should be allowed to feel pain, etc. So, like, when this story first broke, like, Go Bucks Radio broke a story about how he left because he was not getting the ball and he was super close to a bunch of incentives. Then Rappaport breaks a story that AB and his team is saying that it was actually about an injury and that the injury was mishandled, and when he was no longer able to play, they cut him. Now, Bruce Arians, in his first response, played down Antonio Brown's injury, pretending like it wasn't really all that big of a thing, which then led to AB's like two-page statement that people were like, he ain't write this statement. And I was just like, why does this matter? Like, what rich person do you think writes their own like major statement or book or anything
Bro,
like that?
rich people got people that walk their dogs. Of course, he got a publicist, bro. Come on now.
I,
Oh my god.
that is such a good way to put this. And Antonio Brown said a couple things that were very interesting to me about how he was pressured to play, like first and foremost, and that he was shot up with painkillers, like before the game in his ankle, so he would be able to go out there and play. So for all the people that are like, he was jogging and jumping around on the field before he left, his ankle must have been fine. Who couldn't understand the difference between like prancing off and getting tackled by like
Bro,
a linebacker or a corner.
way different than me doing a full cut.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. And he also was like shot up with painkillers in that ankle, right? And like the conversation around Toradol is huge. Like, I wish it was not linked to Antonio Brown here because it's a conversation that we really actually need to have more seriously because, like, it's dangerous. The NFLPA does not want teams to use it. There are entire teams, like the Colts, like Pat McAfee has said this a ton of times, don't even touch the stuff. They don't let any of their players use it. And something that whole teams in the NFL are like, this is actively terrible. We will not use it. Teams use with liberty all the time.
yeah, it's crazy to see. I think it's just one of those things where they need the players on the field, the revenue. It's a big thing.
It was particularly interesting to me, and like, I like Bruce Arians, so I'll start off by saying that. Like, I never really thought of Bruce Arians as a bad dude before this or anything like that, but this don't like
It don't vote well.
it do not. It do not, right?
You know why it don't vote well? I'm gonna steal your thunder real quick. It's because Bruce never wanted him there. Like, let's get this straight. He's there solely because Tom wanted him there. Him and Tom have this great, like, damn near homeboys that grew up together connection that they just utterly love each other. And Tom wants him to be a better person, wants him to take care of everything he got to take care of, and he's willing to bring him along every ride he has. Bruce never wanted him to be there. Let's be clear. Bruce said the first time he messes up, he's out of there. Lo and behold, guess what? He messed up. He wasn't out of there because of the vaccination card. You know why he wasn't out of there? Because he went from being a luxury to being an absolute need because Chris Godwin got injured. So Bruce had to double back and be like, oh, damn, kind of need him. So as much as he reluctantly probably still didn't want him, he said, oh, well, we're going to need him for this playoff push. So you have that. And this whole time, it's probably friction between their relationship because AB's not stupid. Like, I mean, he's a little crazy, but he probably not just stupid. He knows that, okay, I'm here because of Tom, and this man probably don't like me. So you add the text message of him saying that about his ankle. Bruce saying he's not resting on the stars. I get it because they've been struggling a little bit. They want to roll into the playoffs. They're struggling with the Jets. Like I remember watching that game, they were struggling with the Jets. And then AB, he's mad because he's not getting the incentives. So you add, hey, I'm not getting the ball. I got a bum ankle. And then you add the turmoil that you and Bruce have. I can see that conversation on the sideline not being great. Or it was probably a real ugly conversation. And I'm not saying that it was the right thing, but two people with not a great relationship, yeah, they probably ain't gonna have a good conversation when you talk about incentives, money, and my health. Like we probably gonna butt heads. And I'm not saying how AB handled it was ideal. Like Terrence said on the episode we just did, that AB controls his image at the end of the day. And granted, his image is tarnished, but at that moment, he could have did a lot for his image. Just either sitting on the bench being quiet and then dropping the videos and the text messages and everything, or just walking to the locker room and then dropping it. Either way, I feel like he could have did something there to help his image. But like you said, it did leave a stain because Bruce and Tampa, I feel like, didn't handle it correctly. And I feel like it's weird because we saw what happened with Gronk. I don't even know how Gronk was playing, bro. But he punctured his lung, and I was like, "Why is this man playing, bro?" I was like, and you could tell he kind of looked. He didn't look comfortable. And people forget he retired early because he was getting banged up. Like he just couldn't stay healthy. So like I've never thought BA was bad. Okay, he's probably as good as they come. But yeah, you probably have moments that aren't your best, and I feel like these last couple moments or a couple weeks probably ain't been his best, especially with the AB situation. How he stands one way, but he knows like, okay, well, we need a ring, and Tom wants him. It's essentially like the LeBron thing when LeBron being the GM of, okay, I want this dude, or I'm not even going there, or I don't want to be there. So it's just how that got handled, how the Gronk thing got handled. It makes the Bucs look a little funny in a way because you remember when those reports first came out, Jay Glazer reported it like AB just walked off, and then Ian Rappaport reported it differently because then he got the full scoop. So I remember when it first came out, it was just AB's fault, blah, blah, blah. There wasn't no, and it's easy to paint him as the villain. Shit, he already a villain in everybody's story. So
exactly. Yo, you said a lot of things that
my
I
bad,
want to unpack. Like, so like I want to first talk about like you talking about Grind. I actually felt like the way the Buccaneers had handled other injuries this year made me more likely to believe that some of the stuff AB said was true. You talked about Gronk having that rib injury, right? And then Gronk comes back early. He plays in one game, gets hurt again with the same injury, has to sit multiple games after that.
That man
Chris,
never wore rib protectors, bro. Which is
mm-hmm.
crazy to me to begin with, because he be getting hit a lot, but he never wore them. And then that happens, and I think he finally wore it after when he got re-injured again. I don't think he wore it that first game back. He didn't wear it until he got re-injured. He was like, okay, I probably need to wear these.
Yeah, Chris Godwin, when he tore his ACL, was doing sprints on the sideline trying to see if he could get back into the game with the trainers. You ain't know that? They had this nigga Chris Godwin on a torn ACL doing sprints on the sidelines trying to see if he could get back into the game, my guy.
Hey, you know what's crazy is the adrenaline is. I'm gonna give Chris the pass because the adrenaline's in. He probably didn't even realize that. And people will play a game, finish the game. You saw T.O. play with a broken leg in the Super Bowl. Like it's
a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
like, it's a Super Bowl, not week 12.
Yeah,
Like,
for him, it's the moment. Like I'm playing, like regardless. But if he like, I don't. It's like they're prioritizing them going back to back. Like they said, they're like, no, we're going back to back. And I mean, health is important, bro, especially in football. Like you just gotta, you can't just BS that. Like it's them players mean a lot more than just what they do on the field. Like that's somebody's dad at the end of the day. That's somebody's kid. That's somebody fucking uncle. Like they important to other people other than just your fucking franchise.
yeah, bro, I'm with you. And then, like, of course, after Rappaport's story breaks, like you say, Bruce Arians is like downplays the injury to the press. right? It's
going
like,
in different directions, bro. They were, oh shit, bro.
yeah, right. And like the wild thing is like he downplays the injury to the press. He's acting like it was just all about AB wilding and about the incentives. And then AB drops the 2-page statement and then drops his text message chain of him talking to Bruce Arians.
And get quiet as hell from the Bucs camp. They get real quiet for what, a day or two?
Yeah, and then Bruce Arians comes out today and he is like, it was only about incentives. He was mad he wasn't getting the ball. It was not about his injury. But now I do know he was injured, contradicting his earlier statements. Even though that text message chain in that presser, he told everybody was legitimate. He's like, those text messages are real. And AB is like, he's first off telling AB, y'all, you playing. We ain't sitting nobody. We ain't resting for the playoffs. AB is like, I don't know if I can go, coach. Sends him a picture of his leg being worked on. And he's like, can I call you? Right? And there was no response to that, can I call you? So that's really telling for me. Because, like, you knew he was hurt. He was DNP'd at practice the last 2 practices of the week.
Yeah, he didn't participate. He didn't participate until what, Saturday?
He participated in the walkthrough. None of the walkthrough on Saturday. None of the other practices for the week. So I'm just like, it feels like there's a little bit towards the middle. AB's out here on a Toradol shot up ankle in a ton of pain, running around, getting his cardio in, and he mad as fuck. He's like, y'all got me out here on this fucked up ankle, not getting shit.
Hey, there's multiple things that can be right. I'm gonna bring up the stats for AB. I think he was. Let me pull it up because I had it with me and Terrence talking. He was 8 catches away, right? So he's 8 catches away. He's 55 yards away and 1 touchdown away. Y'all know who AB is. Even AB right then in that moment probably could have got all that in that game before it ended. And that was the third quarter he walked off. Multiple things should be right. AB, we know, has a history of handling shit terribly. It's obvious. We know he needed the incentive to get the extra money. And we also know that him and his agent were trying to get the guaranteed money for the season. What was it, a week prior?
Yeah.
It was a week prior. They were trying to lock it in so he can get it. So maybe they knew, okay, our ankle is this bad. Can you ride this out and get it? So, yeah, that part of it could be right. But it could be also right that Bruce and Tampa didn't handle it correctly. Like, no matter what, the man, y'all know, they ain't stupid. They probably got a chart up top at like the front offices when someone's about to hit an incentive so they can move the money around. Like, they probably got something like that. And they probably knew he was probably getting close to the incentives, but they probably also knew like he wanted to hit him, but they probably didn't know how bad his ankle was. That was probably something he only knew.
No, so they should have known, my guy. You know he missed 7 games to injury. He missed he missed 8 straight games, right? He was suspended for 3 of those games, but he was on IR for 2 of the 3 games he was suspended.
But that's a good point, though. See, you know, another thing is he was on IR, so that's the difference. But that suspension in turn hurt him. And that's another thing where it brings up the instance where AB is being AB. Like, if you throw out the game and you leave in the Jet Stadium, say, what was he? He was on IR for 1 of those, and then 2 of them.
No, he was on IR for 2 of the 3 suspended weeks.
Okay, so 1 game you could have stepped in and played. So
well, then if he's hurt, he might have still not been able to play. We don't know.
Exactly. Right? So maybe he could have been a go, but then his fake vaccination card and him being AB screwed that up for him right there. Those 3 games.
One extra game. He was on IR for 2 of those games.
So maybe you could have knocked us down earlier. You probably would have had those incentives before you walked off.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah, it literally, like, 2 things to be right. The AB was trying to finesse the system a little bit, but then BA and Tampa didn't go about it correctly and thought they could probably just pin the blame. It's AB. We can just use them as a scapegoat. You know, and I'm not saying AB and Tampa are bad people. I don't think they are, but it's just how they handled that situation. But if you bring up 2 people that have some animosity towards each other, I don't expect them to handle a situation like 2 adults. Anybody. It could be 2 friends, or it could be me and Terrence with some animosity towards each other. It depends on where we're at. A lot of people can't handle stuff in a professional manner and just be like, okay, this is business.
And if BA cut him right there and Dan told him to get the fuck out of here, he ain't handling in a professional manner neither.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a fault. He didn't handle him professionally. He could have just been like, hey, I need you to go to the locker room. Something softer. But it's the heat of the moment. You losing to the Jets.
They
On the
losing to the Jets. That's big stress. It has to be big stress
side,
losing to the
they
Jets.
lose to the Jets. So you lose to the Jets. This man on the sideline bitching about targets, and you losing to the Jets. So I can see why BA would have some animosity or feel some type of way because he already didn't want him in Tampa.
Facts. Facts. And that was your tee off.
Ooh, spill that tea, sis. Spill that tea, sis.
All right.
Let's not play, boy.
All right, all right. We are going to get into the 5 fly picks for week 18 of the NFL season, the last regular season picks for the year. Let's go out hot. All right. Game 1, I got the Chiefs versus the Broncos. The Chiefs are favored by 10.5 points. And personally, I'm taking the Chiefs minus 10.5. The Chiefs are 4-1 against the AFC West against the spread this season. The Broncos, on the other hand, are 1-4. The Chiefs have something to play for, trying to capture their first seed in the AFC. The Broncos have nothing to play for after losing their last 3 games in a row.
I don't
And the
think.
last, what's up?
Nah, go ahead. My bad.
No, you good. The last thing I'll say about this, and I'll let you go, is that the last time these two teams played, the Chiefs won by 13.
I don't like the Chiefs to win by 10.5. I feel like I feel like the Broncos low key. I don't know why I got this weird feeling about the Broncos. They probably gonna cover it. Another thing, other than the spread, I think the Broncos should really call up Jim Harbaugh when he decides to leave Michigan, or if he's on the fence about it, because y'all need to get somebody in there. That team is a good team. I think so. They're a quarterback and probably a head coach away, but I don't see them going out losing 10 plus. Melvin Gordon was just talking about how they've been losing games and they need to turn it around. Like, I don't think they're going to go out there and lose that bad.
Well, all right. I hear you. I hear you. We'll shift on down to Pittsburgh versus the Ravens. Hey, look, I got Pittsburgh plus 5.5. You all are 5.5 favorites, which I thought was kind of shocking going into this game. But I'll take Pittsburgh plus 5.5. I like Pitt in presumably Ben's last game. Pittsburgh is 6-4 against the spread as an underdog this season. 3-2 against the division, and they won their first matchup against the Ravens. Another upset that I called.
Well, I hope the Ravens sit Lamar for the whole year and he doesn't play in this game. And he didn't.
He better not. He better not.
Play. The Ravens only won 1 game with Tyler Huntley. All the games have been close, but they've only won 1 game with Tyler Huntley against your Bears. I do got the Pittsburgh winning, but I think the Ravens can cover that 5.5. I think Pitt's going to win the game, and I'm going to have to pay my homeboy $20 because they're going to probably get.
Ravens can't cover then. The Ravens are supposed to win by 5.5 to cover.
Oh no! Then.
Yeah. I was shocked that the spread was so big. I guess maybe they were thinking Lamar's back and he'll play, and that makes the spread grow.
All those games are super close. Like Tyler Huntley, they just lost by a point. I forget what the game before that was close. It was less than a touchdown, I think.
It was like 2. Because I think he could have won multiple times by just like going to OT, and he chose not to.
No, well, you got the play where they didn't go to OT, and then you got Tyler Huntley where he shows you he's a backup, bro. Like people are like, oh, like they're throwing like shade at Lamar. I'm like, bro, Marquise Brown was wide open. There's another one, Mark Andrews was wide open. 2 different games, and you're telling me, yeah, okay. But I got a pick going. I'm look like I'm gonna have to give my homeboy $20.
Because of the sweep or just because of the game?
Because if they win, they got a better chance of getting the playoffs. Because I think it's something with the Raiders and the Chargers. If the Raiders
they have to win, Colts have to lose. Raiders, Chargers have to not end in a tie.
Yeah, and I think honestly, the Colts could do some dumb shit and lose the Jets. Won't be the dumbest thing craziest thing I've seen, bro. Yeah,
I imagine TJ Watt will wreck shit and take the season high sack record. But hey, look, Tyler Huntley's mobile. It's gonna be helpful. He's gonna need it,
bro. What's that? Villanueva don't be blocking, bro. He getting a sack, bro. And they used to be on the same team. He probably just going on delay.
All right. Next game, we got the Packers versus the Lions. I got this game originally at Packers minus 2.5. The spread is now jumped to -4. And I imagine the spread was so small at first, and it's still so small because they're anticipating that the Packers do not play all their starters. Even though, like, Aaron Rodgers is like, I'm playing. I expect Devontae Adams to play, and we don't expect to sit. And LaFleur was a little bit softer. He was like, I don't like them not playing for like 2-3 weeks, right? And coming in cold.
He low key smart because you remember that Ravens team and
Mm-hmm.
well, we sat for all them games, and I was like, this is a bad idea. If them boys telling you let them play, even though they've been around the block, they just played in the NFC Championship game. Man, I'm putting them boys out there for this game, at least to like the second or third quarter, late, like halftime or middle of the third.
When they've probably opened up a big ass lead on the Lions.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, obviously, like, there are a bunch of stats on this, but it's like the Packers playing the Lions, so I'm not going to really get into all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to keep it moving. And this is the game that I had the most trouble calling. It's the 49ers versus the Rams. The Rams are 4.5-point favorites at home against the 49ers. And I'm going to take the Rams here. I strongly believe it. We know Jimmy Garoppolo is not really 100%. Trey Lance is out there. He's young. If Jimmy starts, he'll be starting hampered. I just don't trust Trey Lance to close this game against this Rams team.
Kyle Shanahan, like what, 4-1 against the Rams?
Yeah.
He's gotten the better out of McVay every time they play.
100%. And I think
I'm going Rams.
I'm going 49ers?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It's hard for me to trust Trey Lance, especially because the Rams are hot right now on a big win streak. They seem to be finally getting all the pieces together for this playoff run, right? Like, OBJ looks like he is part of the offense.
Yeah,
They look like they're getting Cam Akers back on top of Sony Michel being kind of better put together. We've seen Von Miller eating as of late, seeing a bunch of single coverage. So I kind of like this Rams team is surging right now.
Yeah.
Now, the last team here for this is the Chargers versus the Raiders. The game that I guess technically if they just both kneel down 15 times and ended in a tie, they would both go to the playoffs.
That's a game, low key. If I was like them, if I could be like the NFL, like, hey, we'll take a tie. Like, if both teams, because they're both can get the playoffs, like, yo, we're gonna take a tie.
Yeah, but the NFL would probably be pissed.
Bro, we'll both forfeit this game right now. I'm not getting these dudes banged up. We're both gonna be in the playoffs. Forfeit right now.
Yeah, I mean they can't do it. Like it makes so much sense to do it. It's the logical thing to do, right? But they can't do it. Like, imagine if you paid hundreds of dollars to go to the Chargers Raiders game in Las Vegas. So them tickets is high as hell. In Vegas with their little like pool club area and shit. Like, them tickets are outrageous. Yeah. And them niggas showed up and just kneeled down 15 times each. Like, I'd be so hot. Like,
I mean, they already be fighting in the stands without, like, just off nothing. So
now they're gonna have a real reason to fight in the stands.
They might actually have a reason.
But I like the Chargers here -3. The Chargers are 7-3 against the spread going into a game with equal rest with their opponent, which is like crazy to say. They are 3-2 against the division. I think that this team is starting to get really healthy on the defensive end, and that is something that they were missing out on. They were also dealing with a little bout of COVID, and they are past that as well. So they'll have their full receiving core, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Austin Eckler, all there with, of course, Justin Herbert excelling. And that defense is going to be better than it has been in a very long time. So I feel like the Chargers are healthy when it matters. And that's so important, like getting healthy when the shit's about to actually hit the fan. I got the Chargers -3 here. Where you at?
So the Chargers got to win by 3 or more.
Yep.
I don't think the Raiders are getting blown out like that. I like the Chargers. I like the Raiders to cover that.
Oh, close game. You think the Raiders are gonna win?
Not win, but they ain't gonna get. It's not gonna be. It probably might be a point, bro. Because if you look at it, the Chargers always go for it on 4th down, damn near, right? What if one of those times where they should have kicked it? I still think Chargers will win the game, but they should have kicked it. The Raiders can close the deficit a little bit more. I think it probably honestly be an interesting game, even though it doesn't matter at all. Like, it's awkward, really doesn't matter.
It'll matter because if the Raiders
Cheating
lose, they could
wise,
be out the playoffs. Yeah.
yeah, because the Raiders lose, there's no playoffs. So I feel like
Mhm.
they're gonna play harder. It's tough though. No Darren Waller. There's obviously no Henry Ruggs. Derrick Carr is somehow steering the ship. And
Sure, Derek Carr gets a lot of hate, my guy. A lot of hate for a guy who is
unreasonable,
excelling through turmoil.
unreasonable hate because you look at it. There's turmoil, and every quarterback that is in the same tier as him. So you lump up Baker, you lump up Kirk Cousins, maybe Jimmy G in there, even though I think Jimmy G is probably better than all of them. But they're all in that same bracket. None of those quarterbacks would be winning games with all the shit that's going on.
Oh,
None.
facts. Like
Kirk Cousins can't even win games with the offensive weapons he has. Baker, I don't know what Baker got going on. Jimmy G can't stay
Baker
healthy.
was hurt. Baker was hurt. Come on, my guy. Baker was hurt. Baker was out there rocking like a cast sling thing on his arm for like 7 weeks.
So we gonna say that when all these linebackers be rocking the same cast and shit, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's a little bit different when like you see TJ Watt picking Baker up and being like, ha, on his motherfucking shit.
Bro.
Like, yo, dead ass. You see these niggas sacking Baker and they are sacking him like
They
that
hitting-
on purpose.
hitting shit,
They
bro.
are picking him up and making sure they turn him on that shoulder and like put on his
Bro,
shit constantly.
Bro, they hitting that man too. That's so like he got to get out of Cleveland, bro. Him and Cleveland, the breakup needs to happen. It's just between him getting death threats, them not really believing in him. Obviously, he lost the locker room when they shipped Odell, and Odell started producing.
That was not a good look. I think wasn't Odell like one touchdown short of having the same number of touchdowns he had in his entire Cleveland career.
Yeah, he already clipped it for I think this season or like last season. He clipped the touchdown, so I think it's you lump up. Or no, last season he was injured. He got injured midway.
Yeah, I think he had 7. He had 7 his entire time in Cleveland. He might have like 5 or 6 right now. Yeah, so he's one away from tying it in half a season.
And people are like bringing up, well, it's not that many yards. Well, guess who on the other side of him, motherfucker? He ain't gonna get that many yards.
And even so, if Odell Beckham is just like a red zone monster, then what the fuck happened in Cleveland? like I don't care about the yards. If he is just like in the red zone, he just keeps making shit happen with Matthew Stafford, who he just got together with. What happened in Cleveland?
And then you gotta think there's no Robert Woods, so he's getting the second corner. Like the second corner ain't going to Robert Woods, it's going to him now. Because remember before the thing was okay, he's gonna eat because he's gonna get the worst corner or he's gonna get the slot corner. No, that's not the case at all. He's getting the number 2 corner now. So,
I like it. I like what he's been doing. I'm happy for OBJ. I hope he gets like 2 tuds this weekend, just so he can be like, man, I really have more touchdowns in half a season than I had in 3 years in Cleveland,
bro,
2.5.
That's what Stafford throwing all these interceptions too, bro.
Yeah, bro, they are very risk prone until the third, fourth. Yeah, but that's the thing. In the fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter, he is not throwing any interceptions. So it seems he is making gambles on purpose.
But you can't say you do that against the Cowboys, right? You gamble and you try Diggs and he picks you, right? Or say you go play Green Bay and Rasul Douglas picks you and he's been picking everybody, right?
Yeah. Say
somehow the Saints get in and the Saints bump you because Lattimore or one of them safeties get an interceptions at the end and they just hold the ball. They run the clock down. They don't let you touch the ball again.
But that's the thing. He does not throw interceptions in the fourth quarter. That's really it's kind of odd to think like something switches in that second half of the game. I don't know if it's like McVay sees what's going on and then he's like, I need you to do these things instead of the shit that he was doing before, and Matthew Stafford can just go out and execute that, which, like, to be fair, that's everything McVay wanted. Right,
but if you look at it, say he doesn't throw them interceptions, right? Say he throws 2 in the first half, right? What if you're down by 2, bro? You understand? What if you're down by that touchdown and say you're going back and forth, but you're not getting that one extra touchdown because they ain't getting that stop? Yeah. What if they not turn over the ball? They're going down the field getting field goals, or maybe you're not turning over the ball, but they got you going 4 and out, and you gave up a pick 6. Like, he got the most pick 6s, bro. You give up a pick 6 in the playoffs. Bro, Tom Brady literally threw the game to the Saints last year. Because the Saints decided to play Drew Brees and not Jameis Winston, guess what happened? Them boys went home. God, like, and I'm not saying like he gonna do it, but if you look at what Tom did last year, think about what I'm saying. Like, if Drew hadn't been the quarterback and that man threw that many interceptions, that Saints D was having a field day against him. The only difference was Drew was fucking up too.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong. It is a concern. It's just not a concern in the clutch, which is like everything that people used to knock Matt Stafford for.
It's
He used to be
concerning.
Mr. Garbage Yards. He used to be Mr. Garbage Yards. Remember when he was with
Yeah.
the Lions? But now in the clutch, he is not making any of those mistakes. So I think like I want to still give him his flowers, because when the season started, motherfuckers was acting like Matthew Stafford might not be that big of an upgrade from Jared Goff.
I think the only difference is that when Jared Goff was thriving, he had Todd Gurley. So I feel like people really are ignoring that. Like, like it's not a big deal. Bro, go from having one of the best running back in football at the time to, okay, we're barely running the ball. We're not getting that many yards and you're relying on me and I can't really do this. Like somehow Tennessee is able to pull that off with Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill's kind of regressed. Granted, his weapons have been injured and Derrick Henry's
that's the
not
thing.
playing. But this man is throwing what I think he's like 17 to 14 for touchdowns and interceptions, and they're winning games. It's crazy.
Their defense came on. Their defense finally came on this year. Bud Dupree has been on it.
Hey, he was just in a CVS altercation.
Yo, get his phone. Yo, he's like, you get outside, you get his phone.
He said that so smooth. Hey, get the phone. He just got out of there.
Yeah, he told one boy that was clearly in a fight, you go outside, other one, get his phone. He was directing traffic. He was conducting, my guy. He was like, yo, outside, get the phone.
That boy was looking real John Gotti, like, hey, get the phone. I'm out of here.
Yo, we were talking about the Titans.
People was on his ass about it. That shit was so G. I was like, damn, bro. I mean, this is a bad look, but it looked gangster.
It wasn't that bad of a look, though. That's the worst part, because they were like, he's in an altercation, but we didn't see him hit, fight, nothing. All we saw was him say, get his phone and walk off.
But people were bringing up like the shit was already fucked up before the start of the video. Like the story looked messed up. And maybe he had another video or something, but when the police kept questioning him in Tennessee, they wanted him for questions. At first it was to charge him, but then they did, and it was like, okay, well, we can't charge him with anything. He's not doing anything. Somebody on his team probably got charged. It looked like he probably was with like his
he with I don't know if he was with his team. Oh, you mean like his
his homeboy, like his girl,
Yeah, it looked like he was with some of his peoples. Yeah. So, like he was one of his people looked like he was the person actually fighting, and he was like, yo, you got to go outside. He was like, yo,
I got too much to lose, bro. Get your ass outside.
Because they ain't gonna sue you, they gonna sue me because I'm with you.
Bro, and that's the thing, how Buddy was like, oh, look at Bud Dupree. Bud Dupree ain't doing a damn thing.
Getting like, the camera on Bud Dupree's face. He over here standing like 3 feet away from the altercation.
People funny, like trying to get celebrities jammed up because they know they could probably get a bag from them. And now I get why celebrities be so standoffish with people. Like when I was younger, I really didn't get it. And now I understand why celebrities just don't want nothing to do with like a normal person, like an average person. They're like, nah.
Yeah, y'all be wilding.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pay something because you did some dumb shit and antagonize me.
Yo, okay, so we are good here. We're on the Titans. I want to keep going. Yo, so King Henry was spotted at practice again for the Titans after breaking a bone in his foot this season. Can the Titans go on a Super Bowl run when he's back? Run or pass, Keith?
Oh, I'm running with it. You know why? Because I did something big for the Titans. I just gave the Titans a lot of praise on the pod the other day. Because they got a lot going on in the midst of missing this man, Derrick Henry, who we all know is the best running back in football. It's not
by far
a question. So this is the little campaign I got for the Titans. They lost Derrick Henry week 8, right? In the middle of that game. He was done. They're the top team in the AFC. With the win, they secured 1, right? They just won the AFC South for the second consecutive year. They have allowed the 6th fewest points on defense. While the team is not healthy, Julio has been in and out. A.J. Brown's been dealing with injuries. They lost their number 1 corner pick that was skeptical coming out of college because of injuries. He got injured. Ryan Tannehill's been struggling. Vrabel should easily be coach of the year. There's no question. That is the coach of the year. Tennessee fans, book it. He don't get coach of the year, y'all can start fighting everybody else at CVS's and Walgreens outside of y'all state. Okay. They're 10th in sacks, and they're 3rd in rushing, bro. Derrick Henry is still top 10 in rushing. It just
Yo, that's just nuts. It took Jonathan Taylor like 3 extra weeks to beat that dude.
And he's not going to clip 2,000, bro. Derrick Henry would have clipped 2,000 already. So there's that. And then this is another weird stat. They're 42% on 3rd down, but on 4th down, they're 62%. So them chances where they ain't getting the 3rd down, just know they're going for it. They probably getting the 4th down. So that is just my little praise to the Titans. It's amazing to see. I think Vrabel, there's like coaches that you would see and you would want to play for them, or the guys buy into them and don't question their leadership. Like you got Mike Tomlin, Harbaugh, or Belichick. Like there's just those coaches where dudes don't question, they play hard for them regardless. And you see it; those dudes are out there buying in and playing hard, and it's nice to see. Kevin Byard, he's getting his shine finally. He should have been getting his shine, but he's getting it. So it's nice to see. I think and they got the toughest unis in the league easily.
Facts.
Boy, them throwbacks is tough.
Those is hard. So speaking of, I do agree for Mike Vrabel, Coach of the Year. I've had him for Coach of the Year since like back, right?
Really?
Yeah. I think actually Terrence was on that pod. Me, Terrence, and Sam. It was one of the weeks that you was busy. And I was like, Vrabel was undeniably the Coach of the Year. And this is like probably like week 11.
It's just to that point where it's like TJ Watt for Defensive Player of the Year. Like that's a lot.
That is actually where we're going because TJ Watt is a lock for Defensive Player of the Year, who was also my pick in like week 11, and I ain't trying to hear it from nobody else no more. TJ Watt is that guy.
Yeah, he's that guy. He that dude. Because last year it was AD, right? I get why Aaron Donald got it. How people look at Aaron Donald, I kind of got it. But TJ Watt, there's only 2 people in my eyes that can challenge him. And that's without me looking at the stats to like pull up everybody's right now, but just looking at it, or 3. Myles Garrett could challenge him, right? But he's not getting the playoffs. And he's missed a couple games. And awkward enough, TJ Watt's missed a couple games. Still, he's missed 2 games, I think, still leading in sacks.
He's only played 14 games, so he's missed 3 games.
Right.
And he got hurt in like 3 other games and did not actually play all of those games.
Ridiculous.
I think TJ Watt actually getting hurt is a reason why he should win Defensive Player of the Year.
I don't even think him getting hurt. He should win it because he's played less games. The only person, there's 2 people. So I'll knock Myers off the board. Robert Quinn, because the year he's having, he just shattered the sack record. He got 18. It was by Kent Dent, I believe. He had 17 and a half. He broke
Bears' personal sack record.
Personal sack record. Yeah, personal sack record for the Bears. Robert Quinn got 18. That's 18 and counting because he's going to play this week. Mm-hmm. And then you look at it. Could you give it to Michael Parsons? And honestly, it's tough. If TJ didn't have the year he just had, then yes. But the fact that TJ had the year he just had it's not a debate. You got to give it to TJ. And I'm a Ravens fan, and you got to give it to someone on the fucking Steelers.
Got to give it to TJ. TJ has 21 and a half sacks. He is 1.5 sacks away from beating Michael Strahan's record for the NFL sack record. He has 6 passes defended, 4 forced fumbles, 20 tackles for a loss, which also leads the NFL. 59 total tackles.
His shit's so crazy, bro. It made me, when I looked up his stats, it made me look back and see how dominant his brother was, because his brother was talking shit to him about. I forgot there were so many years where J.J. Watt ripped off 20.
J.J. Watt was undeniably like the best defensive player in the league for people talked about J.J. Watt the way we talked about Aaron Donald.
Bro, I didn't even think like J.J. Watt legit. I think it's like 3-4 years ripping off 20 sacks.
Yeah,
I'm gonna check it, but I think it's
at least 3. It's at least 3.
Bro,
I know at least 3.
20 plus. Like, granted, he probably not getting the total, like the sack record every year, but 20 plus, bro. Like, are you serious?
Yo. So that's the thing. We talk about Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons has played 200 more snaps. 200 more snaps than TJ Watt.
From the injuries to DeMarcus Lawrence when he broke his leg. He was out for like a couple of weeks. And then he benefited because Dan Quinn had to rearrange how the defense was lining up. And they were like, well, we could send Micah off the edge and stop having him drop back in coverage, because if you watch the Bucs game, Gronk was beating him in coverage. And I'm not saying he's bad in coverage, but he wasn't looking great in coverage.
He's better as an edge rusher.
Yeah, as an edge rusher, you just let him go off of how he's feeling. So then they were like, okay, well, let's switch this up and let the rookie just have at it. And it's been great for their defense. It's been great, but I mean, it's just not comparing to TJ Watt. It's not.
TJ Watt has over 300 less snaps than Aaron Donald and is pulling off these numbers. Over 300 less snaps than Aaron Donald. Like I actually think TJ Watt being hurt is a positive for his thing because it's just like stats per snap might be just like the most ridiculous thing the NFL has ever seen.
It's crazy because, and then you look at it. I pulled up JJ stats. He didn't do it consecutive. He did 16 early on in Houston. Probably got injured. Did 17 and a half, 20, 10 and a half, 20 again. So it was never 20 back to back. But it was just the fact that he got 20 twice is crazy.
Only twice?
Yeah, he got 20 and a half.
Damn, I thought he had a third season with 20.
Yeah, 14, he had 20 and a half, and 2012, he had 20 and a half.
Okay. All right. But like, again, I will say what I said the first time. I am once again asking you to vote for TJ Watt as Defensive Player of the Year. So let's keep this moving, and we got to talk about some shit that's going on in Atlanta. Yeah, so we all know about Calvin Ridley being on the NFI list this season, sitting out for his mental health. But now there is strong rumors circling around that Calvin Ridley will be departing from Atlanta after this season. Do you think there's something more to this story? Keith, run or pass?
We got to run with it because it's big news. Like, they just exercised his 5th-year option, so he got like 20. That's the only downside about number 1 picks. Say you got 6 number 1 picks on your team, everybody playing good. You're like, oh, we got to exercise his 5th-year option. You're in cap hell now. But you look at it, I think he looked at what happened with Julio and then them not winning that Super Bowl and having Matt Ryan throwing the ball and be like, no, I don't. And then mentally, those fans, like, I never looked at what fans were saying to him until I went back and looked. Bro, fans were saying some wild ass shit. And he doesn't even look like a mean guy. Like, I don't know what he does that you would say crazy shit to him.
Were they saying it before he decided not to play anymore for his mental health?
They said it like before, because like I think there was a game where he didn't snap, like he didn't do too great. And then they said it as soon as he announced that he had the mental health going on, bro, I wouldn't want to play Atlanta either, how them fans was acting. Like,
they was wilding.
Yeah, between that and Atlanta's smart, though. This is why it works for Atlanta. Atlanta has to keep Matt Ryan until next year, and then they can cut him. If you can trade, Calvin Ridley now, someone's gonna give you a number 1 pick from him. Someone's gonna give you a number 1, and if they don't give you a number 1, they'll give you like multiple 2s, right? So
he is worth a number 1. Like, I thought Calvin Ridley was a top 5 receiver last year in the league, maybe top 7. Calvin's
in those stringy long receivers, like how you have Justin Jefferson, you got Calvin Ridley, like they're like loose and the route running is exceptional. So you look at it, Atlanta, if they're smart, I'm doing it. I'm pulling the trigger because a team like Baltimore, I fucking hope they pull the trigger on this. If you want a first and then like a third, boy, here, take it. Please take it.
Take it.
Bro.
Take my money. Take it now.
No, because obviously they don't want the first for this year. They want the first for next year when the quarterbacks leave. So then next year when Matt's gone, boom, boom, we got our quarterback. Boom,
and they want to be able to package multiple firsts to move up in the draft.
You focus a first next year and then say 2/3, we're in business. So I feel like a team like the Ravens would do it. Who else?
We ain't got no first round picks, or we'd be out there.
Yeah, you guys can't. You guys can't do it. I look at a team like the Colts; they would be interested in that. If the Packers don't bring back Devontae Adams, they would probably bring him in. You know,
the Packers don't. Packers are cheap, and he's on his 5th-year deal, so they would have to up his contract again.
They cheat, but the thing is, if Aaron leave or retire, and then Devontae Adams like, well, my boy left, I'm leaving. Is it easier to tag Devontae and not have him going forward longer, or is it easy to bring in Ridley and sign Ridley?
I mean, I think it all depends on the Aaron thing because it looks like Aaron's going to stay right now. And if Aaron stays, Devontae stays. And I wouldn't be surprised if you saw Devontae sign almost an identical number of years to Aaron Rodgers' extension.
He leave when Rodgers leaves.
Yeah.
But I would say the Patriots, because, Terrence is a Pats fan. I just don't see, me and Terrence were talking about, I don't see Bill getting over first. It's too high of a pick.
He should, though, because there's a proven receiver.
But I think he would do something like he'd wait for Allen Robinson to get released finally from the Bears out of this franchise tag hell. and just be like, hey, that's a physical receiver. Because if you told me to pick, if I'm gonna take I'd take Allen Robinson over Calvin Ridley.
I like Allen Robinson's fantastic, and I'm so
Bro,
mad that we won't pay him.
exactly. So he's gonna leave. They probably, and without giving up any picks, you just pay him. Like I think Bill would be like, okay, I'm gonna take the gamble on him and
I
throw a
agree.
little bit of a bag because they got Mac Jones on his rookie deal. So it's like, hey,
Yeah, I'm with you.
stretch this out.
All right, let's switch over to some NBA style stuff. Speaking of returns, Klay Thompson is close to coming back. Rumors are that we may see him this Sunday.
That shit's crazy. Bro.
Yeah. Are you expecting a big game from Klay in his first return in like 2 seasons?
I'm expecting a big, healthy game. I don't care if Buddy don't score a fucking basket. I just want to see him touch a basketball court and get up and down because I love basketball. Obviously, I played ball in high school and just playing ball. I still play ball to this day all the time. It's just nice to like see. I think people get caught up in the Warriors play bad basketball because they see these dudes taking the threes. No, they play great team basketball, bro. The ball is moving. It's getting to where it should be. It's getting open shots. Like
those are their shots.
Bro, yeah. For me being such a big basketball guy, like playing like the shots they get, how dudes are always getting open, how Steve Kerr like gets these dudes to buy in, it's fucking insane to me. So I'm glad to see Klay, Mr. I ain't got a dribble to get off 60 points.
That's what I love.
Bro, and they winning games, bro. So let's say he don't come back full force Klay this year, right? Or maybe he does. Maybe he does what Kevin Durant did off the fucking Achilles. He's like, bro, I'm back like I never left.
It's an Achilles and an ACL, though. He got them bitches back to back. But his shot's going to be, if his shot's still wet, he just has to be standing and he don't have to move.
I think the only downside is if he's not like, say he can never be what he was, he not picking up the best. Yeah, defensively, he not picking up the best primary offensive player anymore. And that was the thing they could cover up a lot because Steph could try hard, but Steph could never guard the best guard. So it was like, okay, well, we got Klay. And now you look at it, it's like, but they got Jordan Poole, the young dude. I
love Jordan Poole. You
talk about Jordan Poole and then two other light skin.
Talking Kuminga? Oh no, light skin, like Juan Toscano Anderson.
Yeah, they got him and they got somebody else. Like they got the whole damn light skin team besides Draymond. It's insane. I'm excited. I hope he snaps. But even if he don't, I'll just be happy seeing him get up and down.
I'm with you. So we got to talk about two more big returns. Lance Stevenson. We got to talk about Lance Stevenson being on fire. And I'm about to run so hard with this because like Born Ready was really going crazy yesterday. Lance Stevenson came up with the Pacers. He went off. He scored 20 points in 6 minutes against the Nets. He had 35 and 3 for the game.
I mean, the Nets don't play defense anyway, but like this to snap like that, bro, and he be in and out of the league.
That's what I'm saying. It don't make no sense. Okay, so Lance Stevenson not being in the league has to be purely politics. I'm not like that's like. What's your take on that?
I don't know because the thing is, people say he's not a consistent shooter, but then you look at stuff like I don't know how Jamal Crawford wasn't on nobody's fucking team. Yes, he's a liability on defense, but who is stopping this man on offense?
It's youth movement. It's all the youth movement stuff. Like it's all politics where they're like, "You're old. I don't care if you're a better player. Like we've seen your peak."
Look what Bron doing. People saying Bron. Look at what he doing. Right?
Not everybody Bron.
No, yeah, everybody ain't Bron. But you just saw what Lance did. You don't need Lance to drop you 36 every night, but Lance can drop you 10 a night. I think Lance could drop you 10 a night.
And he'll play defense. Yeah. He's always been a willing defender.
Exactly.
Always. Bro. So like them series where they were playing Bron, he was blowing in Bron's ear, doing a bunch of wild shit, trying to get in his head. Like Lance has always been a willing defender.
Like I think it's just because people are trying to go younger, develop players, but then you got some of these young dudes that aren't developing. So like, what is the fucking point? Like, especially if you're a fringe playoff team, like not Indiana, they probably ain't gonna make the playoffs. I don't know where they're at. They might because
they're struggling.
Yeah, but like those teams that were okay, my young dude's not playing that well, but I can get a vet in here, and we already on the cusp of the playoffs. We get in the playoffs, like I would just take Levette, honestly. Like I feel like in some cases, but that ain't every case though, because you got Melo. Melo don't show up every night for the Lakers. It's like, well, damn, what if we had someone else?
Yeah, but Melo don't show up every night. but like Melo is one of their best players frequently. Like
Yeah,
when other people were struggling, Melo was carrying shit, scoring big buckets. And it's weird because Melo, it's hard for Melo to find his spot because Melo transitioned into just being a spot up shooter to find his place in the league.
he did that
Right.
on OKC. He was
Hmm.
not like that.
Yeah, it really, really developed, and then he got to Portland, and like in Portland, he was a spot up shooter, but also like Portland would just give him the ball sometimes and be like, "Go do Melo shit."
That's
Right?
what people forget, like how these players were. Like Melo was never a spot up shooter, bro. He is now, but he was never like, oh, give me the ball, like pass it to me, I'm open, I'm knocking this down. He was like, hey, bring the ball up, or you're giving it to me at the top of the key, and I'm gonna work from there. And it's
And
just
he gets you with like the jab fakes, the little
yeah, bro.
spin. Yeah.
Put his body on you because he's a bigger dude. I think it's nice though because he learned how to make his career longer. Like imagine Russ starts knocking down shots and stops turning over the ball. How much longer this man's career could possibly be? Because he's still young. So just say he gets a good and it's not like he can't shoot. There's that MVP year or years where he's had a good percentage. So say he knocks down the turnovers, bro. Then you're like, oh well, shit. You're not. You only getting 2 turnovers, maybe one, maybe none. Oh, say less.
I mean, he had like his first 0 turnover game in like 400 games last week.
2016, bro.
Yeah, man.
That was
That's
crazy when
wild.
somebody said that to me. And he's a point guard. Like if it was somebody else, I probably wouldn't have thought it was crazy. But like your point, like Chris Paul ain't got no shit like that.
Yeah, but like this is the reason why Chris Paul is the point guard. But we on point guard shit. Kyrie Irving is back. Played his first game back. Also in that Pacers game, coming off the injury and then not being able to play at all because of the whole COVID thing. And Boyd came back and dropped 22, 4, and 3 like it wasn't nothing.
Man got the best bag you ever just seen, bro.
Crazy, bro. Do you think the Nets are now the favorite in the Eastern Conference with Kyrie playing road games? Run or pass?
Run with it. But if I was the Nets, I'd trade Kyrie Irving. I use it as bait.
Mm.
Use it as bait. You gonna get some picks. Kyrie just showed you, bro. People thought he was bullshitting. He came back 22, easy 22. And you gotta think that's 22. His shot wasn't hitting because he ain't been playing as much.
But
So
he was
imagine, like,
nasty in the bucket.
bro, imagine if his stroke was right, bro. Probably would have hit 38. So,
But you just can't stop him getting to the rim. That's like his shot don't need to fall like that because
best
the shit he
small,
do is just nuts.
it's next world, bro. Best small man finisher. He probably got it sounds wild. He probably got a crazier bag than AI. And I used to watch AI growing up, bro.
Oh, 100%.
His bag is that crazy, bro.
AI's bag wasn't anywhere near as diverse as Kyrie's. The move that AI would hit you with, just it always worked. You know, like AI hit them niggas with the same
Bro,
move.
you knew this nigga was gonna hit you with it. Just,
Yeah, it is always like he got like when he got Jordan with that move, and he was like, "Oh, I got Jordan with that shit." It's
bro,
like you knew what he was gonna do, and he you know, like he stole that move from a teammate at Georgetown.
Nah, I never knew that though.
Yeah, he says it in his 40 for 40. He stole that move from a teammate from Georgetown hit him with it. He was like, "Oh, you got to show me how you do that."
Bro, it's crazy. But the thing is, like, Kyrie got the ball. It's like he's a puppet playing with when he got the ball in his hand, bro. He got that shit on a string, bro. It's so easy for him, and it's so crazy to see. Like, it's just I would love to play like a scrimmage against him and just see just see him on a court playing. Like, damn, bro, this man really like that. Because he is, but it's just like something you want to see in person. Like the bags is different, bro. It's like Kevin Durant. Like there's nothing you can do to get that man off his game. He just got to have an off night. You're not going to stop him. You know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy seeing stuff like that.
You playing the defense and just hoping he missed, bro. Yeah. Okay, so that was the run pass option. We're actually running in close to an hour right now. I think we will bump the coaches conversation to next week, move into the Ballers Bouquet. So, and honestly, we'll actually see if a lot of these guys have gotten fired because Black Monday is on the horizon. Yo, it's gonna be kind of hot. The one thing we can do is just, I want your opinion on if you think this guy is in or out on Monday. We'll start with the easy one. Chicago's Matt Nagy at 6-10 with the Bears. In or out?
I low key think he's in.
Ooh.
Bro, look, check me out. Chicago, you can't just keep bringing in coaches and just swapping them and like I don't know because I don't know what else you're gonna do to fix that franchise.
Jim Harbaugh. People are talking Harbaugh. People are talking Dable.
If I'm Harbaugh gets to pick where he goes. I'm picking either the Broncos, Seattle, or the Panthers job. That's what 3 jobs. And definitely the Broncos job. If I can get a real pick.
Okay. Minnesota Zimmer.
He got to be
7
out.
and
Oh
9.
my God, he got to be out.
Oh, okay. Zimmer out.
Why
Denver's Vic Fangio. Oh, what's up?
Why did you not play Kellen Mond, bro? What?
I didn't get that either. And then Sean Mannion just stunk it up.
40? Bro,
Sean Mannion only had 2 more career starts than Kellen Mond at the beginning of that game. Like dead. He only had 2 more starts.
The GM right there, I would have fired him, bro. Why did we draft Kellen Mond? You drafted Kellen Mond because you played Kirk Cousins too much. So you low key hoping Kellen Mond can become something. So you could we could just Kurt's ride the bench or we'll cut you when we can.
Yeah, Denver's Vic Fangio also at 7 and 9.
He got to be out. Oh my God, go call that man Jim Harbaugh, please.
Yo, I actually think Vic Fangio so far is the guy that most deserves his job. They don't have a quarterback. Like Teddy Bridgewater, nice, but he got hurt a bunch this year. And it's just like, you're not going to win. Like, if Jim Harbaugh takes that Denver job and can't replace Teddy Bridgewater with a better quarterback, Jim Harbaugh will probably end up 8 and 10, maybe 9 and 7.
Denver trying to figure out if they can get in this Deshaun Watson sweepstakes or
if you can get Deshaun Watson or Aaron Rodgers, I think Vic Fangio deserves the opportunity at that point. Because it's not like he can't coach. That defense is always great. He's a defensive-minded coach. And it's just like the quarterback play needs to get a little bit better. And ever since Peyton, the GM has consistently fucked Vic Fangio and his quarterbacks.
They need to get
Paxton Lynch.
They need, but they can't go on
Trevor
the draft.
Siemian.
They know they can't draft a quarterback.
That's all I'm saying. So it's not his fault. I'm like, Vic Fangio, your GM is consistent. Like, look, Elway consistently fucked that man for like half a decade.
They need for a quarterback because isn't Rodgers a free? He's not a free agent this year.
His agreement. I think he has an agreement with the Packers to come back. That if he wanted out at the end of this season, they would let him go to the team of his choice.
So the Broncos need something where they don't have to come up off a lot. And if I just got to come up off of picks to get the person, that's ideal. Like say Russ. See, I was like, hey, we want to recoup this fucking Jamal Adams shit show. If I'm Denver, hey, bro, I'll give you this first, next year's first, and a third. And then probably you're going to have to add another first in there. So 3 first, a third, and I'll give you a 5th for shits and giggles.
Vic Fangio was the guy that I thought might deserve the most chance. Just feeling the way the Broncos have been playing. We move down to the Giants. Joe Judge with the Giants at 4 and 12.
Bro, blow the whole team up. He got to be fired. Daniel Jones ain't. And I don't even think Daniel Jones is bad. I think Daniel Jones could be a real good backup in the league. Like, I think if you can get Daniel Jones to be your backup, you might be somewhere. Because he showed that he can stop turning the ball over as much as he once was. Joe Judge ain't it. You pay too much money to Kenny Galladay.
He didn't score a single touchdown.
Boy, Kadarius Toney's your bright spot. And boy, that boy banging big C's and just all over the place, bro. Like, he's amazing, though. But, like, that team's so bad, bro. They're so bad. Like, I don't know. You can't be that bad, bro. You can't be that bad with that. They have a lot of talent.
The last one I have on here, and this will be an interesting one. I put a question mark next to it. The Seahawks with Pete Carroll at 6 and 10.
You know, it's funny you say this. They gotta get rid of him because I'm on board with Seattle. I'm on board with Seattle to clean house. Like how I just said, the Giants. If I'm Seattle, bro, I know we just doing the coaches thing. I'm gonna spill this. If I'm Seattle, I'm firing Pete. I'm gonna go get an actual head coach and an actual owner / GM. Because I want to say the person that is the GM, I think it's like the dude that died. It's his sister in like looking after
his daughter or sister.
Yeah, daughter or sister, and then Pete really gets all the power. So
because she knew Pete already because she was around and Pete was there. So basically, Pete gets a de facto GM position. Yeah.
I'm firing Pete, or I'm telling Pete, hey, you need to walk off in the sunset or we're going to fire you. Boom. That's solved, right? I'm giving Bobby Wagner his choice of where he wants to land. And I'm just going to ask for draft picks for wherever he wants to go. So say, I don't know, give me a team.
For Bobby Wagner, I would say
Rams.
Rams can't afford him, but I would say maybe like a team like the Dolphins, trying to replace that Van Noy loss.
Say the Dolphins, hey, we want Bobby Wagner, just give us a first. You just want one first for Bobby? Granted, it's going to be the Dolphins first. So you're going to get a good first. Boom, swap right there. Russell Wilson, you can get 3 firsts from Russell. And I'm saying at minimum 3 firsts, and you're going to get multiple others. So I'm trading Russell, and then I'm trading Jamal Adams' ass to a team that can use him. No, but the thing is,
yo, that's so sad because y'all just gave him so much shit for Jamal.
They can't use him properly. You can't pair Jamal Adams with Diggs, who's 5'9", and y'all ain't got no corners. It's not gonna work. Like if you had corners and Diggs is 5'9" asses back there, okay, you can make that work. But you can't make it work because it's just Jamal Adams, Bobby Wagner, Jordan Brooks, Cottrell Diggs, no corners. Like teams are feasting on that. So I'm gonna send Jamal Adams. Shit, the Saints would probably take him.
Yeah, the Saints would actually be able to use him very well, but the Saints are just in cap hell.
Saints, maybe the Niners to get younger at safety. Like there's teams that would take him that he would fit their mold because they could be like, okay, we got extra safety now. We can put you in the box like you want to be, and you just have you rush off the edge or stay in the coverage in between in the zone. You know what I'm saying?
At that point, you would want to send him to Denver. Because Denver's back defense is nutty. He could rush all day.
Bro, Denver low-key could send you a corner too. Oh my God, bro. Imagine Justin Simmons with Jamal Adams. And you got
motherfucking Patrick Surtain on the other side of that shit. Yeah, boy.
With Bradley Chubb rushing, bro. Oh my God. Bro, I think like if you're Seattle, you just gotta hit the full detonate button because you saw Bill Belichick do it. He got lucky. It was a COVID year, so his dudes were able to get healthy. And then they just hit the reset button. Hit the reset button, bro. Just fucking hit it. Because there's no way, even say you get rid of Pete, you get another coach in. That roster's not complete enough for you to compete. So what are you going to do? You need DK Metcalf. Hopefully DK Metcalf, you get him paired up with a quarterback. He can grow more. He's a young dude. He needs to run routes better. His hands are a little iffy at times, but he's a physical specimen and can be a dog later down the line. Keep Tyler Lockett because your fans fucking adore him. But I think you got to snip the umbilical cord. People are getting too caught up on, oh, well, we drafted them. They got to retire with us. Nah, bro. Did it happen with Tom Brady? Did it happen with Peyton Manning? Shut the hell up. Okay.
I'm with you. All right. Those are the coaches I had that were on the hot seat. Did you have any other guys that you were like, he should be questioning his job right now that you were thinking about?
Give me one sec. Not off the top of my head. Maybe the Panthers coach.
Matt Rule, that's a good one. I did not think
but I don't think it's his fault. He just ain't got a quarterback, but they not winning. So it's like,
yeah, I bet they wish they kept Teddy. And they do none of this other shit.
They 20 million Darnold, bro. Oh my God.
Yeah, I bet they wish they just kept Teddy. They would have been in such a better situation.
That's like that Baker thing, bro. 20 million. Now you're like, oh my God.
Okay. All right, let's finish out the show strong.
Y'all, it's Tony Playboy.
Welcome to the final segment of the show, the heart of the show, Ballers Bouquets. Too often in the media, people only focus on the negative and salacious things athletes do and never want to give them their credit where credit is due. Here, I like to make a change, and this week's Ballers Bouquet goes to Derrick Henry for his 2-All Foundation. So Derrick Henry's 2-All Foundation exists, according to him, to level the playing field for today's youth so that their success is not limited by the circumstances of their upbringing, background, disability, or influence. And the 2-All Foundation does a lot of things back in his hometown of Yulee, Florida. I don't even know if you know where that is.
Definitely. Hell no. It's probably in one of these weird-ass spots in Florida, bro. There's a lot of weird spots in Florida I never would live.
Yeah, he's from Yulee, Florida, and does a lot of work in Yulee, Florida, as well as in Tennessee, where the Titans are. This year in 2021, for the 4th consecutive time, he hosted a back to school event in Yulee, Florida, where he donates school supplies, backpacks, and bikes to like 200 plus kids
That's
every
dope.
year. Yeah, every year. And he started after doing that for 4 years in his hometown in Florida, started also doing that in Tennessee. So he like does a back to school event in Florida, then he goes to Tennessee and then does another back to school event in Tennessee to help out kids in both areas. And I think that's usually super huge. And it's something that's near and dear to his heart because he's always trying to uplift these kids and give them the opportunities and just things that they need to be successful in life. He did for Christmas, goes around Yulee, has hundreds of families, does a toy giveaway at a Walmart. So basically, it's just like, yo, families come through. Basically, we're going to get the kid Christmas gifts for your kids just straight up. They pop up to the Walmart parking lot, and basically, they just start handing out hundreds of toys to kids and their families,
That's like
right?
that's like Andre Johnson, bro. He used to pull up in Texas and back home and just fill up shit for all the kids. It's dope, bro. Big
Yeah,
shout out.
they always make sure they get the first 500 kids that show up to the Walmart in Yulee, and they give them toys. He then donated $25,000, not through the foundation even, just like his own personal money to No Kid Hungry to support children's access to food across America, and then another $25,000 to the Second Harvest Food Bank of Middle Tennessee that works with the like Tennessee inner city public schools and basically provides like emergency food programs, reduced lunch and stuff like that for kids in need in Tennessee.
Bro, that's player, bro. That's real boss. Like it's
Yep.
good to see these like athletes giving back. They ain't got to, bro, but because they taking care of their family, but to them to be cognizant of like, okay, I'm from here, I care about the community, especially like that thing like Derrick Henry does for the lunches. So lunches being cheaper, like paying for lunch as a kid, bro, it's expensive if you don't get that waiver for free lunch. You know what I'm saying?
And then there's always like BS with schools doing things like lunch debt and holding kids' degrees and a bunch of other like shiesty shit. Like it is actually such a problematic thing when like the way that schools, like I get it, they're really running a business.
Bro, I don't agree with that because like it's just to me there was times where I was just going to school just to eat, bro. Like there's nothing to eat for breakfast at the house or nothing for lunch, and like I didn't like especially senior year I didn't have to go to school like my second period of classes. I was already ready to graduate, but I would just go because you bet I'm gonna get lunch, and that's a reality for some kids. Some people don't think about that, bro. Like you ain't got nothing hot at the house for breakfast or there's nothing there. Like your mom wasn't able to grab it, like. That little bullshit school lunch, bro. I used to get down on them muffins, bro. That's game changer, bro.
Facts. And I think like the problem is that schools are ran like a business, right? Instead of being ran like as a public good.
Yeah,
So
I get colleges, but K through 12, it should not be anything above being ran as it should be. I get the business side of colleges, which I get it, but that's ridiculous. But K through 12, nah. Let these kids get an education, a good education at that, and be able to have a nurturing environment, especially if they don't got that nurturing environment at the house.
big facts. I like that is super important. So you can see like Derrick Henry is connected to his community, both back home in Yulee, Florida. He ain't forget where he came from, but also in Tennessee where he rocks and he plays. So if you all find this something that you can get behind and you want to be a part of, you can go to www.2 the number allfoundation.org/donate to donate or/volunteer to volunteer. Because when he has to give out like 500 toys at a Walmart, they need volunteers, right? That's a big thing,
Oh, for
right?
sure. They
When you
definitely
got to give out 500 toys at a Walmart or like 300 backpacks, it helps to have some volunteers just to help pass out the stuff. So whether you want to give your time or your money, you can go to 2allfoundation.org and be a part of making a difference. And that was this week's Ballers Bouquet.
that shit up there by Jacksonville. I'm like, bro, where's Yulee, Florida at? Like, what? It's just up there
By Jacksonville.
Yeah, it's like on the outside of Jacks that shit's by Brunswick, Georgia, which is crazy. That's
Okay, yeah.
Oh, boy, that is not a place to be a dark skinned person to be at. But it's that shit. Hey, bro, I remember coming home from seeing Terrace, bro. I was about to stop in Georgia, bro, and I was tired, bro. Dan ain't want to drive. I called my mom. I was like, "Yeah, I'm about to pull over." She's like, "Where you buy?" She could see. She's like, "Hey, do not stop your motherfucking car." She's like, "Keep driving." She had my uncle call me. She's like, "Bro, please keep driving." So we went all over the trip. That is not a spot for black people, bro. Got me a little monster, punched that bitch too. I was like, "Bro, I got my gun on me. Like, here, if I'm fine, no, do not stop." All right, bro.
That might create twice the problem.
Exactly. I was like, nah, don't stop. I was like, all right, bro. I was so sleepy too, bro.
Look, that was it for episode 65 of the Fly Route Podcast. As always, we appreciate each and every single one of y'all that listen, whether you're on like YouTube, Spotify, Audia, Apple Music, just catching out clips here and there. I want to give a shout out to Marquise from the Cover 4 with the Guys podcast every Tuesday.
Yeah, so we record the episodes Tuesday night. They're normally up on YouTube. I put them on YouTube early. They're available Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. You can find us on Twitter at cover4_W. The Guys, we're on there. Please subscribe to us on YouTube. We're trying to, ramp up the followers. We added new things. We got new artwork. We're clipping. Terrence is gonna make a Facebook page for us. So we got a lot going on. Ant helped us with the clipping. That was a dope thing. Ant put me on game with that. So we got a couple clips out there, and we're just like trying to grow more and do different things as a podcast. Interact with people. So just give us a holler, and we're super active on Twitter. Ant, me, and Terrence be talking all the time on Twitter. It's fun.
Big facts, big facts. All a great follow. Y'all know where to catch me at the Fly Route Pod. And we cannot wait to give you another episode next week. Thanks for stopping by. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like, leave a subscribe so you don't